Yes, I made you an host.
Okay. Can you see?
Yes. Hey, hi all, welcome.
Hi everyone.
So let's wait for a couple of minutes. Let's everybody join. We will resume. We will start the.
Mesh, I think we can go ahead and start. So the others probably will just join in. Should be okay.
Yes, Shibu, we will start.
Okay, sounds good. All right, team. Thank you all for joining in today. Mahesh has actually asked me to come take a short session with the group here, specifically on Marketing Cloud. He said the teams are probably interested in understanding a little more about Marketing Cloud and maybe probably about the career path and all that. Okay, so. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm actually a Salesforce MVP and a marketing champion. I'm based out of Malaysia. I've been in Malaysia for about 11 to 12 years now. 22 years in IT with UST. I'm a practice director with UST, looking at APAC operations. I've been in the Salesforce ecosystem for about 14 years now. And Marketing Cloud for the last few years, probably 3+ years now. Okay, so it's one of my things that I actually ventured into on my own to figure out what it is, because it was a black block for me. I had no clue what Marketing Cloud was, even though I had worked on the rest of the Salesforce suite quite a long time. This was something that was many people did not know. And at that time, there was no documentation, much no videos, online content, and all that as much as we have right now. Okay, so I had the org, but there was no one to teach, so we had to learn on our own. Use some trial methods and all that, and finally then we all found that okay, there's not enough content online. So slowly we all started contributing a little bit to the community, building our own content, videos and all that. Okay, so today many of you are lucky that you are born into an era where, not born but basically getting into an era where at least there is some amount of content available where you can actually go and learn, and there's a lot of demand for Marketing Cloud. That's probably why you're here in this session as well. Okay, so well, that's about me. My LinkedIn and Twitter handles are here, so in case if you like to reach out, definitely please do. Always happy to chat about Salesforce, Marketing Cloud. My other passion is agile. I kind of work a lot of with the agile team, so I'm always a passionate agilist as well. So I'm always happy to talk about agile as well. Okay. All right. Today it's like I know it's a short session. I know many of you have some expectations, like you may have expectations, but you definitely cannot learn marketing cloud in 30 45 minutes. Okay, it's a really vast area. um, I probably will try to give you a very high level overview, maybe from a very this thing, like okay, what it is about, what can you expect to see in it. We'll talk a little bit about like career options, and then where can you find some materials that you can learn. Okay, so there is definitely restrictions for marketing cloud. It's not like similar to how you have seen the other CRM part. So let's see, let's dive into it. And I definitely want to keep it interactive. I would like to have you guys ask questions, so I can help answer, because at the end of the day, if you don't get any benefit out of it, there's no point in attending a meeting, right? So we'll go that way, right? Use the chat window as much as possible if you want to go ahead and ask questions. I'd be happy to answer that, either as I'm presenting or towards the end. I'll try to help answer. Okay. First and foremost, let me ask you guys, okay, how many of you actually have a little bit of experience with Salesforce? I mean, have you seen Salesforce? Because what Mahesh said is some of you are pretty students who are new to the Salesforce ecosystem. So in chat, can you tell me if you're totally new to Salesforce ecosystem, or if you have any years of experience, please put in the years of experience in Salesforce. And if you're totally new to Marketing Cloud, you can say new to marketing as well. No problem. Okay, 5 months. 3 years, okay. 0.5, 9 months. And I'm assuming all of this is with the Salesforce ecosystem, all this experience. Okay, 2 years. Okay, great. 10 months. That's okay. 1 year. SFMC 2 months. Okay. There you go. Okay, 3 months. 1.5, 7 years. Good. Awesome. Okay, so we have a good variety of experience, all the way from freshers, not freshers, but maybe junior folks to some senior folks as well. Okay, great. And I'm assuming many of you are probably new to SFMC, or we has maybe very less experience in SFMC, right? So okay, cool. All right, so that gives a good idea for me to see what we can get into. At least CRM, so I can relate a little bit into CRM and tell you how the platform is. So let me then ask you a basic question about marketing then. Okay. Before I get into sales and marketing, can you guys give me an example of any marketing communication that you have received in your daily life? You can unmute, by the way. Okay. If you need to speak, you don't have to type also. I've given permission to unmute.
So maybe some kind of communications that we usually get from e-commerce websites.
Yes. Yeah. Example. Give me. You're all in India, right? Give me an example of something that so other people also can understand, Avinash.
Okay. Yeah. So in Myntra, if we have some kind of sale, they used to post something like that, like 50% off on all items.
Yep. Great example. Okay. And that is an email channel, right? Okay. Anything else? Any other channels that you have received? Anybody else? Has anybody gotten SMS or app messages?
We will get some sale related email, promotional emails kind of thing.
Promotional emails, yeah. Okay. How about on mobile applications, on mobile SMS or mobile apps? Has anybody gotten any marketing communications?
General push messages, alerts.
Yeah. So you usually get then when you go to Facebook, you probably go to maybe websites. Sometimes you see ads, so there's multiple places that you can see marketing promotions and all that, right? So it's quite common that marketing, without marketing, it's very difficult to run industries today, right? So it's in part and parcel of almost every industry, right? That's why marketing is very, very important for us to learn. Now, Sales Cloud, if you look at the CRM part of it, okay, there is actually the entire lead to order, and then the newer clouds are coming in, so there's a lot of areas that they look in. Marketing is one suite of it, and then the Marketing Cloud, they bought Exact Target about 8 or 9 years back, and they've added that to the suite. Okay, so each of the products that you see in marketing, so in Salesforce, you will see each of that is different tools that probably Salesforce has acquired over the years. Okay, like commerce, different tools that they have actually. In Slack is the latest one that they added, right? So Marketing Cloud is like one of the products that they added to the entire ecosystem. Okay. There is the other one that you will see is Pardot, which they recently renamed. Okay. So we'll come to the next slide on what is the difference between the two as well. Okay. But before we get into that, let me ask you, if you know Salesforce already, like, you know, and you know a little bit of sales, what's the difference between sales and marketing? Are they the same?
So Sibu, can I come up?
Sure. Go ahead, please.
Yes. So sales is all about selling a product, and marketing is all about doing a promotion or making the like bringing about a brand awareness.
Perfect. Okay. Any other thoughts? Anybody? Anything more to add?
Marketing is like getting the customers from different channels.
Okay. Yeah. Like,
And
not trying.
sales is like, from marketing we get the customer, and from the sales we are selling them the products.
Got it. Okay. Good. Anything else to add? Sales is the transaction of goods. Marketing is persuading someone to buy something. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, then my question is, which one is more important?
Both are, because it's like left and right eye.
Yes. Yeah. But usually when I ask that question, like, you know, if there are salespeople in the house, they'll say, of course, the sales. Marketing people say marketing, like, you know. But then some people will say, yeah, we definitely like both. Okay, yeah. The answer is like, yeah, both of them are like equally important, and they need to work hand in hand, right? And then, like many of you said, marketing is about understanding, like, you know, okay, what a customer wants or needs, okay, and then trying to, like, you know, show, okay, like, you know, bringing the brand awareness to them, and then trying to, like, you know, persuade them to buy, right? Sales usually comes in after marketing, like, okay, people have got an idea about your brand, now you have to, like, you know, go after them, close the deal, like, you know, so that's all part of it. And it's a repetitive cycle, like, you know, so you bring out new promotions, you bring out new things, and then you ask sales to go and close it out. So they have to work hand in hand, like, you know, for very successful companies to work. Okay. So B2B and B2C marketing, I don't know if you've heard of this term. Have any of you heard of? If you have, can you tell me what it stands for, or what do you understand from B2B and B2C, if you've heard of it?
And like B2B is like business to business. It's like for bigger organization, and B2C is like business to customer, and it's like direct selling to the people.
Correct. Okay. So then let me ask the question to people here, like, okay, what is Salesforce in that category? Is it B2B or B2C?
Both.
Marketing Cloud is related to B2B and Pardot is B2C.
Okay, no, that is not okay. That is not my question. Okay, so I know that you have learned. Okay, this tool is B2B, this tool is B2C, not like that. Okay, my actual, think of Salesforce as a product. Okay, so if you are a this thing like, you know, an end consumer, if Salesforce is selling Salesforce, okay, the company is sending Salesforce, and they are coming to you and selling to you, who do you think is their actual end customer? Is it an individual or is it a company?
Company.
Okay, I see both answers here, B2C, B2C, B2B as well. Okay, yeah, in most cases it is actually B2B. Okay, even if it is B2C, it's mostly like, you know, somebody, if you're a single owner of a company, that is probably why you are saying B2C. But in most cases, it usually will be to an actual enterprise or a company, like, you know, even if it's a small company, it's actually to a company where you are having other customers, right? You are having end customers, and you're using Salesforce to manage your business to service other customers. So it's actually B2B. Okay. Now, B2C, give me an example of B2C that you have seen, company that is B2C. Something that you actually buy from every day, or like, you know, every week or once in a while in India. No, you don't buy anything.
I think it's when Salesforce does any kind of business with a person account.
No. I wasn't asking about Salesforce. Sorry. Salesforce is B2B. I was asking for any other company. Like, no. So, okay, I see Amazon as one example. Great. Okay. Amazon is actually your individual consumer, right? So you actually can go online, you can buy. Okay. Great. Facebook. Yes. Okay. Can you give me an example of one company that does both B2B and B2C? Can you think of it? Okay. Banks. Okay. Great. Okay. Yeah. Banks is one. There is high tech, like, you know, if you think of like high tech companies like HP, Apple, Dell, like, you know, so they actually sell to corporations. They also sell to individuals. Like, if you want something like that, you can actually go buy on your own laptop or your own desktop if you want, but then companies actually have bigger orders as well, right? So there are companies who can employ both B2B and B2C, right? So when you look at the differences between B2B and B2C, B2B primarily is for like bigger companies, and it's the deal sizes are very high. Okay, for instance, if there is a company like there's a big organization that actually wants to buy a bunch of servers for their company, and maybe like a bunch of laptops or desktops for their employees and all that, they don't buy like one or two in number, right? They actually buy it in thousands, and that deal size is actually pretty high. The number of decision makers will be like not one person, might be a body like governing body like within the company that will actually have to do, and there'll be a lot of back and forth, like okay, they will compare deals, they will compare with multiple competitors and all that, right? So it's a nurturing process. So most of the time, like B2B is actually, you will have to deal with lead nurturing. So you will have to like keep going back, giving some promotions, things like that to them, and then say, okay, yeah, fine, let's finalize the deal, right? So it takes a little time, and it's the number of like the opportunity that you get in B2B is like lesser, like it's like large deal sizes and all that, but the number of that you see, the deals that you see as like lesser in compared to a B2C one. B2C is like the deal size are very small. Any small thing that an individual consumer usually goes and buy, and the decision maker is just that one person, that end consumer, right? So the deals are definitely will be low, shorter engagement time is all there, right? So that is the difference between B2B and B2C, like on a very high level, just to give you a flavor of like when if somebody asks you like, okay, what is B2B and B2C, how do you explain that? Okay. And Salesforce actually has these two. This Pardot got renamed recently to Account Engagement, Marketing Cloud Account Engagement. But just for you to know that the tool is still there. It's still at the same Pardot, and they use B2B lead nurturing and all that behind the scenes. Marketing Cloud does not have inbuilt lead nurturing. If you need, you have to build it out, or you can add an app exchange tool. But most of the time is actually like for communicating with your end consumer. Okay. And that is to like people who are like you and me, like if they want to reach out to and give promotions to like folks, you can use Marketing Cloud for that. Okay. So Marketing Cloud is actually a bigger suite. Okay, so it's not just one big product. It has like small products within it. Okay, and you will come across these terms called studios and builders. Okay, studios, you can actually think of it as like channels. Okay, so you yourself all told me like okay, you received different types of communications, like and you receive it in different channels. So email is one channel, SMS is one. Okay, and then there could be like push notifications because you have like an app that you have installed. Okay, you can have it on a website. Okay, you can have ads. Okay, now there are a lot of tools available, like so there are different ways that you can actually reach out and engage customers. So that's why they use the term studios for that. Okay, builders on the other hand, you can think of it as across these channels, if I want to like have some like mechanism to like support any transactions for that, I have certain builders. Okay, so that's what they are used for. Here the only one that is actually going to be an exception is Automation Studio. It's probably not shown here, but Automation Studio is one that is actually across all the channels, but it is named as Studio. Journey Builder, definitely like it is across all the different studios as well. But all the other builders that you can see, mostly it will be like across different channels, you can use those. So that's one way of like studying. Okay, like okay, there are so many products. How do I understand what is what? When you later go into like learning Marketing Cloud on your own, you can probably use that as a tip to like remember how to know what is a studio and what is a builder. Okay. Okay, so from a data model perspective, many of you already have experience with Salesforce, right? So let me ask you, in Salesforce, how do you store data? Objects. Yep, perfect. So you have objects in which you can actually have fields. You can store all the data there, right? So in Marketing Cloud, okay, everything that you bring in has to be related to your contact, okay, your customer. Because end of the day, you're marketing to whom? You're marketing to a customer, right? It is B2C. So whatever data you bring in has to be specific to your customer. Okay. And there are different ways in which you can actually like store data, like in Marketing Cloud. Okay. There are two different structures that you can store. One is called subscriber list and one is called data extensions. Okay. Subscriber list is primarily like a simple list in which okay, there's a certain data structure, okay, in which you can actually store like data about that particular person that you're trying to email. Okay, and it is only available for that email channel. You cannot use it for other channels. Okay, so it's kind of like an old type of structure, and it's not very flexible, which is why they came up with the more flexible kind of data structure called as data extensions. Okay, it is very similar to your SQL table. If you have all worked in SQL, if you've seen Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, and all that, is very similar to that. You just have a table, like you can create your own fields. Okay, you can create the data type, and you can create the length, everything in that. You can create primary keys. All that is possible. Okay, and then you can store the different types of data. You can even have linking done, like relations. You can actually create that for data extension. So it's a very, very flexible data structure that you can give, and using that, behind, you can actually store all the data that you need for your marketing operations. So when you get into studying more about marketing cloud, you will understand, okay, how are these two data structures used, and when you get into email, you will study both as well. Okay, but just to keep in mind, one thing that you need to know about marketing cloud is the thumb rule is not to bring in data into marketing cloud unless and until it is something that you need to market out. Okay, so you should never bring in, like in CRM right now, whatever data we want, we always bring it in from multiple systems, and we work on it, right? We use sometimes we do ETL and all that, a lot of stuff we do. So marketing cloud is not meant for that. Ideally, because you get charged for the amount of contacts that you bring in, the amount of data that you consume, right? So you should never bring in a large amount of data into marketing cloud unless and until it is something that you really want to use for marketing out. And once you're done marketing it out, if you think you don't need that data anymore, you should actually get rid of it. Either archive it, or send it out, and then or delete it out, so that's something that you need to look at, right? So in future, when you actually get to work in marketing cloud, if you do, then keep that rule in mind, because I've seen people say, yeah, we can just bring the data in, store it on here, then we will take a subset of the data and then we will send it out for marketing and all that, but the remaining data will still be there, so simply you're storing all the data, you're wasting space, you're paying for it. Okay, so that's something that you need to keep in mind. Okay, so the next couple of slides, I'll just quickly go through some channels and builders that I mentioned earlier, right? So Email Studio is the most common one that you will probably see. Okay, so probably all of you have received email marketing emails at some point in time, right? So you probably will know that, and you can configure, test, and send emails out to your contacts. And then there is two types of emails that you can actually send. Okay, one is a commercial type, or one is a transactional type. Okay, commercial, like how the name sounds, it is actually a marketing promotion type email, something that you are intending to promote something so that you can ask the end user to buy something or make some decision on buying, right? Transactional, on the other end, is because of a transaction. Very simple example: if you actually purchase something, or place an order, immediately you will see near real time, you will get an email saying, okay, this is my order confirmation, right? If you go and reset a password, you will get an email. Okay, I don't know my password. Suddenly you reset it, and then you will get an email saying, okay. All these are all transactional in nature, right? So immediately that comes to you. So commercial and transactional emails are the two types that you can send out. Okay, and then there are certain laws that you need to actually adhere to when you send out emails. So that's one of the primary reasons why marketing cloud is not available freely. You cannot simply just go in and send whatever you want out. People will actually make issues, and they will complain against you, right? So being in the US, the Salesforce being situated out of California, so they have to adhere to the US can spam law. There is a can spam law in which you have to primarily there are multiple rules. When you study marketing cloud, you will understand that you cannot simply just send out. You have to identify who the person is, so that it doesn't get tagged as a spam. You have to give the option for people to unsubscribe, if they don't like your email, etc. Right? So very simple thing is how many of you have Gmail, and how many of you have received spam emails in your spam folder? Anybody who has not received or not seen what a spam mail looks like? Yes, yeah. So at least one person, yes. Everybody, yes. Okay. If you have not, yeah, great, awesome. All of you have. If you want to actually take a look at it, you should go to that folder and then take a look at the spam, once in a while. You will see the types of emails that automatically get triggered as spam. Okay, and you should wonder if you're getting into email marketing at some point in time, you can learn from some of those. Okay, why did this email become a spam? many of the times you will see the moment they look at the subject line itself, it's a suspicious email, right? But sometimes you've seen, okay, the email, it's actually somebody who's valid who sent it. The email, the subject line looks okay, but then still it became a spam. So there are certain things beyond it, like, you have to go and sometimes you can figure out, like, okay, maybe they are not, there are certain keywords within that email that will trigger a spam. Okay, so there are many rules that that you have to follow, like, when you're getting into email marketing, to ensure that your email gets actually delivered to your end consumer. Okay, and adhering to the laws is most important. Like, and if you're, let's say you bought Marketing Cloud and your customer or your instance is actually in Europe, then you have to also follow GDPR. Okay, or maybe different countries have different laws, so you have to follow all those laws as well, right? So primarily you have to, like, ensure that you don't send any emails to people unless and until they've actually asked for it. Like, so remember when many of you actually sign up in websites or, like, for any event or anything like that, you probably would have seen a small checkbox at the end, like, of that, like, I agree to, like, these terms. Along with that, they'll say, I am signing up for marketing communications, which many of you, I'm sure, and many of you will uncheck. I'm pretty sure, right? If you don't want to receive emails. But that is what is called as opt-in. Okay, it's called OPTIN, opt-in. It's basically asking you permission. Can I send you marketing emails? Do you want to receive promotions? If you click that as yes, yeah, great. That means you are automatically being added into our system saying that this person has agreed to receive marketing emails from us. Okay, and then they will start sending you. Sometimes you will wonder, I never signed up for this email. Why am I getting this email? Where did I sign up for this? I have no idea. When you probably visited some store, or maybe when you visited some website or something, maybe when you signed up for something, automatically you might have got opted in. Like, sometimes they ask you, sometimes they don't. For instance, you walk into a store and you tell them, okay, you want, like, they will tell you, the store person will tell you, sir, if you sign up for this particular thing, our loyalty thing, you will get 20% discount. Automatically in that loyalty card membership, there might be some fine print where it says, like, you will be receiving marketing email. They probably might not have told you that. Okay, then you will start receiving emails, marketing emails from that. Okay, so some point or the other, just keep in mind, ideally, if you are doing the email marketing, you should get your end person to be able to opt in. Like, simply don't send emails to people who have not opted in. If you are somebody who does not like to be, you have not signed up for an email and people keep sending you emails, you will get angry, right? And you will definitely unsubscribe. You will call them as spam. Same thing. So if you are on the other end and you are trying to send out emails, only send it to people who have actually signed up for it, and always send relevant content. It's very, very important. Okay, so when you get into proper like, deep into, like, marketing, you will learn, like, okay, what are some of the email marketing principles, some of the best practices that you should follow, etc. Okay. Mobile Studio, on the other hand, is like the other channel that is commonly used after email. Email is the most widely used one. Some countries, they also use mobile. India, I believe, like, mobile is common. So you can use that for SMS, and you can use that for push notifications if you have applications. Okay, even within push, you can have like in-app, or, like, if you inbox into the inbox, if you want to send that, that is also possible, right? Now, one very good usage of that one is, like, there's an advanced scenario where you can actually have beacons or geofencing. Okay, so meaning, like, based on geofencing, like, if you want to track if somebody is within your vicinity based on GPS. Okay, if they have enabled GPS and they have your app on, if you have coded that in your application, saying that if somebody is coming within a vicinity of your store, like, maybe about 2-mile radius or 2-kilometer radius, get them an app notification saying, okay, that you will get a promotion if you come into a store in the next 1 hour, 2 hours. Okay, I don't know if any of you have received something like that, but slowly by slowly, there are some companies who have started, like, looking at it. I'm not sure if that is there in India, but some companies actually do it in beacon services. That is, like, within a store, there will be Bluetooth beacons. Like, and then if you're in one, if it's a large store, if you're standing in, like, next to one of the beacons, it'll automatically pick up where you're standing in that store. Like, let's say you are actually browsing in the electronics section, right? Automatically the beacon there will understand, like, based on your phone's Bluetooth, like, you're standing in electronics and you're browsing near televisions, right? It will probably be able to send you, personalized app message saying, like, hey, there's a promotion on TVs right now. Okay, because it knows that you're actually looking at TVs. So it can be that advanced if you want to get into, like, so the possibilities are pretty high, like, nowadays, with a lot of technology, like, that you see within tools. Okay, but I haven't seen that much being done because you actually have to go and build a bunch of stuff in the SDK with the mobile apps and all that to get that working. Okay, it's not a straightforward, easy to do configurable thing, but there are possibilities for you to do that. Okay, just for you to know. Web-based channel is like, okay, you can go create like, web pages, which is called landing pages. That comes along with Marketing Cloud that you can host. And then the most common usage that you will see from that is, let's say you send emails out to folks and you want to redirect them. Like when you get an email, usually there'll be a button or a link in that, right? And when you click on it, you want people to be redirected to a site where you want them to sign up for something, register or enter their profile information, enter their preferences or marketing details, etc. So you want to send them to a web page where you want them to interact with, okay, and then give you some information, etc. So that is one of the common use cases that you will usually see. Like so for that, instead of using an external website, you can build your own web pages within Marketing Cloud as well. Okay, so they have something called as Cloud Pages. Under Cloud Pages, they have landing pages, code resources. There are multiple things that you will learn inside that. Okay. Social Studio is one of the tools that was there earlier. It was called Radiant 6. It actually is being retired, but just so that you know that it actually has, it was pretty good and powerful. You will be able to send out social messages. You have your entire team sit and actually view and then publish messages on different channels, okay, across Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, etc. All those, LinkedIn, everything. You can actually publish messages. You can even listen in, if people are actually responding back, you can actually see, you can have different feeds on your workspace, and you can have service agents actually, or your marketing agents actually look at it and then reply. You probably might have seen in Twitter sometimes certain companies they would have agents replying to you when you actually send, like Samsung or something, when you actually send, you tag their particular brand and you raise a question, immediately one of the service agents will be replying to that. Okay, so that is because they're actually listening in on social media on that specific brand. Other use cases would be if they have got, maybe they're launching a new product, so they will put a specific tag for that and the brand tag for that, and then they will launch it. So anything with that hashtag that is being trending, they will keep listening in social media. What are people talking about it? How is our brand doing? And there is AI engines sentiment analysis and all that built into in the Social Studio tool. It will give you a report of what are people talking about, how are people trending, are they talking good about your product? It will give you sentiment analysis. There's something called that in social as well. Unfortunately, this is actually being retired. So in 2024, I believe it is being sunset. So Social Studio is no longer going to be supported as part of marketing or Salesforce tool. Okay, they are looking at some other tools in the meanwhile. As of now, I haven't heard of something that has been solidly mentioned. So till then, yeah, we still have be in the dark, to find out if something else is going to take over for Social Studio. Okay. The other few common items that you'll probably end up working with in Marketing Cloud, content builder is something where you actually go and create content. Okay, so content is in email, basically it's not that you will just simply go and write an email like how you do in Outlook. It's not just text. Okay, most of the emails that you get, promotional emails, you will see there'll be some jazzy images, some great text, maybe a button to click and do some action, etc. There might be some coupons that they will show, etc. Right? So it's sometimes they send you newsletters. It depends on the type of communication they send. So each is a different type of content, and then many of the times it will be some HTML content that they will send, right? Sometimes people don't like HTML, they disable it and they will have text. So behind the scenes, they will also have a text type of email behind that, right? So all of this is different content that you have to go and create. Even for your web page, you will have content, right? So you'll have to go and create content on for your websites and all that based on your brand, certain themes, colors, everything you will have. So you will have a content team in your marketing department, that will be responsible for creating content. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I had to clear the annotation here. Okay. Okay, so that was on content builder. So you can actually have content builder as one of the tools within Marketing Cloud, where you can actually go and create content and then have it shared across different channels. Like you can create header, footer, You can create image files. You can create like specific HTML content, which you can reuse within emails. You can reuse within websites, etc. Okay, so content builder is one of the common tools that you will end up seeing. You probably would have seen like how you use maybe CMS within Salesforce. I don't know how many of you have worked with CMS. So if you've seen that, you will know that you can actually store assets and then you can reuse that within Salesforce. Right? So something similar to that, you can store assets and you can actually work with that in content builder. Contact builder is the primary area within marketing cloud where you will end up storing all your contact details. Okay, so like I said, every person that you're bringing into marketing cloud is going to be a contact. Okay, so you're bringing in your subscriber, your person that you're going to market out to, like or send emails to. All those people will actually be stored in and maintained in your contact builder. Your data extensions, like that you create, all of that you can see there. Like if you're going to do an integration, setting up that integration has to be managed through contact builder. So there are a lot of things that actually happen on the contact builder thing. If you have different data extensions, how do I link those two? So that is going to be your primary point where you need to manage the data model. Okay, so contact builder is very important for that. The last two that you see here is your marketing automation tools. So let me ask you this: what is your understanding of? Okay, maybe not like that. Let me ask you: in Salesforce, what are some of the automation tools that you have?
Flows.
Flow, process builder.
Flow, process builder. Okay.
Approval process.
Approval process. Okay. Anything else? Triggers automation.
Triggers as well.
Yeah, triggers are also automation, right? So it's not only low code. Like you can have anything that is actually helping you automate stuff. That is actually automation, right? So similar to that, in Marketing Cloud, you have a couple of tools that actually help you, automate certain stuff in for the marketing operations. Okay. Automation Studio is something that will automatically, you can actually, it is platform based. If you want to automate certain things in the platform, very simple example will be, let's say you have some data that is residing in an external system. Okay, and you want to bring that data into Marketing Cloud. Let's say it's about some contacts that you want to bring in, and then you want to process, and send emails out for them, right? And they can send it as a file. So bringing that file over into Marketing Cloud, maybe if it's encrypted or if it's compressed, if you want to decrypt and uncompress it, and then processing and reading from that file and getting the data into your data extension, all of that has to happen, right? So these kind of activities you can actually schedule in Automation Studio. It could be a nightly batch, nightly the file will come. It could be once in a week, once in a month. So you can keep on scheduling it, in automation you can do it. Sometimes if you wanted to run when a file is automatically dropped into the FTP, you wanted to kick off, that is also possible. So it's very, very powerful, and not only file based, non-file based also. Let's say I have data that is there, I'm getting in from CRM, or if there is some data that is already existing, I have a bunch of customer data that I have, and I want to do some manipulation. I want to get us, the term is called segmentation. Okay, if you learn marketing, you will come across this term called segmentation. What it is a very simple thing is, you have a bunch of data, you want to get a subset of that data based on some condition. That is called segmentation. Okay. Simple example will be, let's say I have the list of all the different customers that I have in India, but let's say I have a specific promotion for a particular state. Okay, so if I'm going to now send a promotion to all the people in that particular state, or maybe 1 or 2 states, because they are having a specific festival season. Okay, because of that I want to send to them. Then I have to do a segmentation of that. I need to go and say, give me all the customers whose state equals to this value. Then automatically the SQL will actually take that and then give you the set of those customers. So that's kind of like a filtering down into a smaller segment. That's called segmentation. You can do that also. So once you do that, then you can market out to that small segment itself, and it's very personalized. So see, marketing, one of the main principles that you have to learn about marketing also is, your marketing communication should be highly personalized. Okay, very simple. If I send you 2 emails, one, it says hi customer, and I'm sending you an email. Or if I actually say hi, your first name, okay, followed by your first name, which one would you prefer more? Question to you.
The second one.
Second one, right? But it's more personalized. Okay, and let's say you are actually browsing a particular, let's say you are browsing on Amazon, okay, and you went into Amazon and you were looking for maybe a specific t-shirt, okay, or maybe a specific set of sport shoes. You're looking for the sport shoes, and then they were looking at it, but then you just looked at it, the 2-3 different brands, Nike, Adidas, you checked all those, okay, all good, but then yeah, you just left and went, okay. Let's say within 24 hours you get an email from them saying, hi, your name, we noticed that that you were actually like looking for sport shoes. We right now have a promotion on this particular set of things, would you be interested in that? Okay, imagine how much would be the impact to you, like if you get a marketing email like that. And it doesn't have to be Amazon, I'm just saying some website that you went to, and then this is what they did, because they understood like your personal interest, what were you actually looking for. Okay, they understood like your interest, and they came back to you, and then they gave you a marketing promotion. So that is, it is very, very personalized to you. Okay, and what you are looking for may not be the same as what somebody else will be shopping for, but they will be able to have programs. It is not like somebody sitting there and monitoring what you are doing and then sending that email to you. It is all written behind the scene to automatically figure out what each customer is looking at, build that personalization behind the scenes, and send that person a personalized email, right? That is all there behind the scenes. Okay, so that is how powerful these today's marketing tools are. Okay, so whatever marketing automation that you actually do, you have to bring in that flavor of personalization. Okay, very, very important. You yourself have to put yourself in that shoes and see, like, if you are the end consumer, what would you like to see from a particular company? Would you prefer a brand that actually sends you personalized messages, or simply some message which you are not even interested in? So you will just throw that as crap, like you will throw it away, right? So always look at that mind when you're learning marketing. Okay. So Journey Builder is one of the most powerful tools that you will get in Marketing Cloud. So this has to do with actually a one-to-one engagement. Okay, and what that means is it actually will insert different customers that we are actually sending into the journey. It will actually insert them into a journey, and it will take them through that entire journey. And based on how you interact or engage with that particular set of communications in that journey, it will drive to different paths. A very simple example will be, if you are maybe joining a new bank or registering with a bank. Okay, so they may send you first, they'll put you into a journey. In that welcome journey, it's called a welcome journey. In that welcome journey, you'll first email that you will get is a welcome email. Okay, then maybe after 3 days, you will get probably another email saying like, okay, here is some things that you need to know about your location. This is the nearest ATM that you have. This is the bank operating hours, something like that. Okay, after maybe about a month, they might be sending you some details about new account opens, that accounts that you can actually open, or like some new promotional credit cards that you can avail to, etc. So it's all part of that one single journey, and they will actually see, did you open the email? Okay, did you actually read that or click that email? They can track that. Once you have been sent an email, we can track it in Marketing Cloud in that journey. How did you engage with that email? If you open the email, they might be able to send you on a different route. They might be able to send you another email, based on how you have opened it, right? If you have not opened it, they can send you a reminder email. Maybe they want you to do some action. They want you to go and update your profile in the website for your banking details, etc. Right? So that they can send you a different email for that. So it's all based on engagement, how you engage. They can send you across different paths, and like that, I can have n number of journeys. So that's what a journey is used for. Okay, very, very powerful tool. And if you're getting into marketing, definitely this is something that will end up working with as well. Okay, one more use case that you probably would have seen. I don't know if you have heard of the term abandoned cart. Okay. And I have actually experienced this, but probably not with Flipkart or Amazon. I'm not sure which one it was, but maybe you can experiment it. If you go to one of these e-commerce sites that has a cart, okay, you go and actually look for a pretty good item, like a little expensive. Okay, assuming that you want to buy it, okay, add it to your cart. Okay, you add it to your cart, but then you don't buy it. Okay, then you just leave the page and then close the page and go. 9 out of 10 times you will actually get an email in the next 1 to 2 days, saying that, hey, we noticed that you have left an item in the cart. Do you want to go and purchase it? Okay, so and if you are a real good customer or loyal customer with that particular company or a brand, they might even offer you a coupon for it. Okay, they might say, like, if you purchase now in the next like 124 hours, we will give you this coupon code of 20% discount, etc. Okay, depending on how good of a customer you have been, your purchase history, etc. So that is an abandoned cart journey. Like, they put you into a journey where they'll actually follow with you to see, like, if you are interested and make you buy, because they know that, okay, you are buying power. Like, they probably know, like, your history of, like, how you have been loyal to the brand or not. Okay, but that's something you can experiment and see. Like, if you, at least you might even get an email, probably not a coupon, but you will definitely get an email, like, saying that, okay, you have left something in the cart. Most of the big companies that have, like, e-commerce carts today, I think they employ that today. Okay. Okay. The last one that we had on Marketing Cloud was the cross cloud. So many of you, like, you already work with Sales Cloud. So the question would be like, okay, how do I, like, integrate within Sales Cloud and marketing, right? And for your information, let me try to show you how Marketing Cloud looks like. So this is how Marketing Cloud looks like. This is, I hope you can all see my screen, the browser. Just type in yes. Okay, good. So this is how Marketing Cloud looks like. As you can see, this does not even look like anything close to what Salesforce does. Okay, so it is not lightning based or anything like that. It's a totally different platform. Okay, so within Marketing Cloud, you will see all the different channels here. Like I said, email, mobile, social, advertising, web, interaction, all of those are there. Then you have the different builders where you have automation, journeys, content builder, audience contact builder, and all that. And then some other platform tools as well. Okay, if you go into email, like, so this is how an example of an email will look like if I've already created an email. And if I want to, like, preview and test it. So this is like, previewing and testing. So you can see I've actually selected a data extension here with some data. Okay, the first name, last name, the customer, all the details are here. So when and this is, you can see this is a template email that I've actually, like, I'm trying to preview how it will look like if I send it out, right? You will see the first name of this person is here, dear Leanne, right? The moment I change that record to the next person's name, you will see the name changing over here. So this is called dynamically. You will see the personalization actually happening there. So when you create emails, you can create personalization. You will see in the subject also, the subject line here also changing based on that, right? Automatically, you will see exactly the first name, last name coming there, the first name coming here. This is just a very simple one. You can even have more powerful personalization that you want to bring in, like if you want to code and input, that is all possible here. Okay, just to give you an idea of, like, how it looks like. Contact, I was telling you earlier, like, there's a data extension, like, where you can store. So this is an example of how a data extension would look like. You can see the different fields that you can configure. I can add additional attributes that I want. You can have primary keys. You can have different types of data types, etc. Okay, if I go into that, this will exactly look like a how do I call it, a SQL table. Okay, it's probably because I kept it idle for a long time, that's why it's not coming up. But okay, let that go ahead. Automation. So this is how an automation workflow will look like. You will see, like, it's kind of like a canvas where you can drag and drop. You can have multiple activities. Like I said earlier, like, you can bring in files, you can import the data, you can send emails from it, all of that. So the different activities that you can have, and you can actually create and then schedule it. Okay, or you can actually wait for a file to be dropped accordingly. Journeys is the most interesting one of the complex ones also. So if you end up, like, working in journeys, definitely, like, it's a great learning curve for that. You will actually be end up you trying to figure out, okay, how do I bring a customer in? What are the different paths that they need to go through? Remember, I told you, like, you can actually figure out, okay, which path they need to go based on how they engaged with you, right? So there's conditions that you have to check. Did they open the email, or they click the email? Did they make a purchase? Like, so you can check fields based on that. What do I need to do? And to update something, or do I need to send them another reminder email? All those things I can do. So based on that, you will see the contact will actually be flowing through one of these paths, and then they will exit out of the journey. Okay, so there are multiple people will be passing through that. They will pass through that entire journey. Okay, going back to here. So when I talked about, like, CRM being, so you saw that this does not look like CRM at all, right? It's all its own different tool. So if you want to connect our CRM, like, Sales Cloud or Service Cloud with Marketing Cloud, there is a package called Marketing Cloud Connect. Okay, that it's a free package. You have to install that on Sales Cloud or Service Cloud, and then using that, you can connect to Marketing Cloud. You have to create a system user. There's a bunch of documentation available where you can do that. Using that, you can actually send, you can collect your contact or lead data and then you can bring that into Marketing Cloud, and you can send emails from Marketing Cloud to those people. Okay, but you cannot send any random data from Marketing Cloud into Sales Cloud. That is not possible. You can bring object data from Sales Cloud or Service Cloud into marketing for marketing purposes, but vice versa is not possible. The only data that you can actually send back from marketing into CRM is tracking data. Tracking means, like, let's say you have sent an email to a bunch of contacts or leads from Sales Cloud or Service Cloud. You can send the data back saying that how did they receive the email? Did they open the email? Did it bounce? All those, that is tracking data. Okay, did they unsubscribe? All that information you can send back. Okay, but that is only if the person who's receiving it, that you send the email to, is actually a contact or a lead or a campaign member in Sales or Service Cloud. Any other person that you're simply sending out in Marketing Cloud, you cannot send that information across to. Directly, you cannot send it to them. Okay, you can. There are different ways of programmatically, if you want to send like through APIs and all, you can send, but directly you cannot. Okay, just to give you an idea of like what are the integration possible between the two. There is use cases where people sitting inside CRM can send Marketing Cloud email without even having to go into marketing. So there is, using this package that you have, there is UI that is available where they can go in, they can open a particular Visualforce page, and you can actually see Marketing Cloud emails. And if you have a report or a campaign that you have created in Sales Cloud or Service Cloud with a bunch of contacts or leads, you can select the email from marketing and you can send it out to them also. So there is multiple scenarios like that where you want your sales people sitting in CRM to be able to send Marketing Cloud emails directly from, without even having to go into Marketing Cloud. Okay, and you may think like, okay, I have emails already in Sales Cloud, like an email possibility, right? Why do I need to use Marketing Cloud, right? It depends on the business process. So some companies say that, okay, we don't want any email communications to go out from other tools, but only through Marketing Cloud, because they probably want the branding, they want the content, everything to be tracked in one single place. Like if you send it from Salesforce, you probably cannot track if they open the email, did they unsubscribe, all those things you cannot probably track it, right? For all that, you probably want all communications to be routed through Marketing Cloud. In that particular case, this scenario is very, very useful. Okay. So that's primarily what I had on the tool features, just to give you a very high level overview. I know it's not just as I cannot you probably will not be able to understand a lot just by going through this half an hour. But hopefully you got a small idea of what Marketing Cloud looks like. Then when you study more about it, as you get into it, you'll be able to relate to what I just talked about. Okay. Different roles that you can look for, or you will interface with when you get into Marketing Cloud. Entry level, most of the time you will actually be either at the developer or the specialist levels. Okay, so these folks are junior people. When you are getting into Marketing Cloud, you probably will be getting into either content development, where you will actually help create HTML, CSS, and then email content. That is one role that you can think of. You might get into a little bit of doing marketing automation, where you can actually get SQL segmentation, like I said, managing the data, right? I have to bring in data, I have to create automations like Automation Studio and journeys. All those things you will end up doing. A little more advanced is like programming. Okay, so once you learn the platform, this is like learning the platform. Then once you learn the platform, then how do I do a bunch of programming on it, right? You will have to know this. So a couple of programming languages that are supported inside Marketing Cloud is called AMScript and server-side JavaScript. So these are both are proprietary to Marketing Cloud. It is not something that you can run outside Marketing Cloud, even though the terms server-side JavaScript you might have seen outside, but this specific one is for Marketing Cloud. Okay, AMScript is only in Marketing Cloud. You will not be able to see it outside. So it's very simple language to learn. It's kind of like if you know Excel, you can see functions within Excel, how it behaves. So it's something similar to that. It's very nice. Like a lot of people actually learn AMScript, and then you can do personalization inside your emails or your web pages using AMScript, and then you can show personalization a lot. Okay. SSJS, if you know JavaScript, you can learn SSJS quicker. So if you will have an advantage, but keep in mind, it is not client side. It is actually executed on the server side. So there's a bunch of things that you need to know. There are certain libraries that you need to learn, using which you can actually become better in SSJS. Okay. APIs, if you already have worked with APIs in Salesforce, is very, very easy. So there's a bunch of APIs that is supported by Marketing Cloud. They have the REST APIs and SOAP APIs, so you can actually there is a set of rules that you need to follow for OAuth, like how to get the token, and then how to go which endpoints you need to call, what you need to pass. All those details are there in the documentation, so you can use that to call Marketing Cloud and then get information or post information. The other way around is also possible, meaning if you want to call external APIs from Marketing Cloud, you can, using your RAM script or SSJS, you can do that also. Okay, so people in the development role, they will definitely be working on some of these areas, like integration, APIs, doing personalization using AMScript, SSJS, and all that. Okay. The senior roles, once you have a bunch of experience, you will get into being an architect or a consultant role. Okay, and then managers on the other side will be looking at campaign management, managing the entire the things that the team is responsible for. Okay, so there are different roles that you will come across. Okay, and then the certifications that you will see in Marketing Cloud. So there are 4 certifications that is currently supported. The 2 base ones are administrator and email specialist. Okay, if you want to get the higher level, which is consultant, you have to have the administrator one. If you want to become a developer, you have to take the email specialist one. So keep that in mind. Don't mix it up. Okay, so what I usually recommend folks to learn first is always email specialist, because it is much more simpler than the admin one. The reason is the email specialist, you just have to learn Email Studio, which is you understand the data model. You need to know Automation Studio, Journey Builder, a little bit of Marketing Cloud Connect. Okay, and then just primary email marketing practices and all that, right? So if you learn email specialist content, it will get a good foundation of how the bare minimum of how you can get Marketing Cloud to work. Okay, at least with one channel. Then you can expand on to the other areas. Like as an admin, you need to know a little more about the platform. You need to know all about the other channels, how Einstein works, how the different integrations work. All those things you need to know as an admin, because you need to know the entire setup. And that's something probably not many of you may get into. You probably will not be working as an admin. So don't confuse the Marketing Cloud admin like our Sales Cloud admin, who is actually working on config. Doesn't mean that okay, you are going to work on config when you work on as a Marketing Cloud admin. Okay, this is more of somebody who's going to support the platform, that you need to make changes to roles. If you need to go and figure out if there's any issues with that, all those things, that admin. Even Sales Cloud also, if you are really an admin, those are some of the operational things that you will do. Okay, but you really need to know the entire platform. Okay, what are the each and every setting that you have inside Marketing Cloud? So unless and until you are actually being an admin in Marketing Cloud, it's very difficult for you to go and learn all that, unless you want to sit and look at the documentation. Okay, you will have to understand how to use setup, what is the various things in setup, where do I go set up what. And the exam questions are not straightforward. They will probably ask you scenario questions. Okay, there is this error happening, why is that, how do I resolve it? Okay, so you really need to know, have the platform hands on, to understand and learn and the admin part of it. Okay, consultant is going to be more scenario based. Again, it's vast. It's a bunch of areas that you need to know. Okay, how do I design solutions? How do I if there are multiple options available, which is the best practice one that I need to choose, etc. Okay, so this is all scenario based. Developer, if you're having email specialist, developer is very good. You have to learn. I would say getting email specialist and getting developer is definitely the easiest path that you can follow if you want to get really getting into the programming part of it. You need to know the programming languages, AMScript, SSJS, and APIs. A little bit of repetition you will see from certain areas, how to work with contacts, how to work with the data model and all that, security, all those things. When you get into Marketing Cloud developer, you will actually learn that as well. Check the exam guides, because that keeps changing once in a while, so you need to check that as well. Okay, and if you work with a partner company, they have the new this accreditation partner learning camp, and they have certain certifications for that also, that only you can get it in PLC. Okay, with respect to Marketing Cloud. Okay, with respect to some of the sites that you can go and learn, this is one of my channels that I actually help with, but then there's a lot of other places that you can go to. There's something called sfmc-curator.com. If you go there, it actually will show you a list of all the people who are actually contributing to Marketing Cloud, different posts, either posts or blog posts or videos. If anybody's posting it, it'll be listed there. Okay, but what I have actually done is I have actually given this video resources blog post, which I created a while back. I'll share this in chat for you guys. So 1 second. If you have not seen this already, so in case if you want, you can bookmark this. So if you're new to marketing and you want to learn like a little bit more about marketing, I have actually categorized these videos. Some of them may be old, like, but majority of them should still be valid. So if you're looking at learning a specific area, you can actually go and look at that. Like, let's say you want to learn about Mobile Studio. Okay, there are 2-3 videos on Mobile Studio. Okay, if you want to learn about AMScript, there are some videos about AMScript over here. If you want to learn about APIs, we have APIs as well. Like, so there are different sessions that were taken in the past. Hopefully most of these links are still available. You can refer to them and then learn based on that. Okay, the certification boot camps and that we have done in the past, my channel, we have the specialist boot camp, and Jyotsna's channel, there is actually admin, consultant, and developer ones are in her channel as well. Okay, so you can refer to those 2 channels to learn about the boot camps in case you're appearing for exams for that. Okay. Okay, so that's on learning. Okay, I'll open it out for Q&A if you guys have any questions on whatever we went through. That's all I had for today. Questions? Was I too fast?
No, Sibu, Avinash here. So thank you so much for the session. This is really helpful.
Sure. Thank you. I know, like, it's not easy, like, especially those who know a little bit about Marketing Cloud. Marketing Cloud is really vast. And maybe if you do not know Marketing Cloud also, you'll be like, okay, that was too much information. I cannot get it into my head. Trust me, that was where I was, like, when I was there about a few years back as well. Not easy. And then one of the main questions that I always get is, where can I get Marketing Cloud to practice, right? So always, that's a very unfortunate answer that I have to give. You don't get it free. Because there is like not like our regular developer orgs. Like, it's you don't get it free. You have to be either a part of a partner org or you have to be a customer to get it. Okay, but there are few training companies who actually, I've heard that they actually give, like, maybe for a couple of months if you join their training program. I know Trailhead Academy, if there's somebody that you can actually, like, if you go to them, they will give you for a month or so. But then probably there are lesser priced companies online that they might be able to give, if there are companies who are giving training on Marketing Cloud. So you can check with some of your friends if you know. I do not know any of them personally, so I cannot recommend. But you can check with any of your friends if they have learned. You can probably check that and then learn from that. And then also don't rely only on those. Like, if you get a hands-on org, learn as much as possible from online content, learn from one another, like, try hands-on as much as possible, using that, because it's not always easy to get hands-on orgs like that. Okay. And then getting into a actual company, I would say, like, see, Marketing Cloud right now is very much in demand. Okay, but many companies are actually looking for people who are having experience, but it's not easy all the time. So at some point in time, like, I am assuming, like, there might be, like, some internship openings that might happen sooner or later. So there will be advantage if you have learned Marketing Cloud, like, on your own somehow. You have a certification that you took based on that, but then don't take it simply. Okay, don't simply go and, like, take certification by looking at some questions and then doing it and then saying, I know Marketing Cloud. Okay, because in interview, if you say that you know, then they will actually ask you properly based on that. Like, if you have taken email specialist and if you really cannot explain the data model, gone. Okay, so don't fake it. Try it properly on your own. Ask questions, try the things out. Like, whatever there is boot camps are available. You can learn from some of those. There are certain exercises that you can try. There was a foundation course also that I put it on my LinkedIn. On my YouTube channel. So you can see there's a foundation course where you can actually go into Quip and you can actually try those exercises if you have a hands-on org. Like, so those are some of the things that actually companies will look for. Did you take initiative? Did you try something on your own? What did you try out? Okay. Don't simply, like, blindly say, yeah, I have learned data extension. I have learned how to send email. That's it. Okay, what did you do beyond the theoretical part? What is something new that you actually understood from that? How will you actually do, like, something in Automation Studio? Okay, how will you solve this scenario? Think outside the box. Think of, like, certain things. How would you actually design a journey? Okay, what are the ways that you can actually, like, bring people into a journey? How will you actually remove people from a journey? There are multiple things that you can think of when you get hands-on into an org. Okay, even without hands-on also, you can think of solutions like, okay, if I were to do this tomorrow, how would I do it? Okay, based on whatever I've seen. Okay, that also sometimes companies actually are interested in people who understand the concept. You're able to explain it, so they don't have to have a too much of a learning, a ramp up training that they need to give if you know a little bit of the concepts. Okay. If too much emails is sent to any person in another country, what happens? Like, so couple of things based on the laws. If that person has not opted into your email and you send it to them, they can report you as spam. Okay. And then they can unsubscribe also. So one of the main things that you will find when you learn about email marketing is your reputation. Okay. There is something called as deliverability, the concept called deliverability. So every marketing, brand, it's your company, it's a brand, right? So if you're trying to send it out, you're sending emails to certain people who are under ISPs. So ISPs are like internet service providers. Like Gmail is an ISP. If you're sending to a Gmail ID, the email service provider the ISPs, for Gmail servers, they have rules written over there to say, okay, who do they think are spam people, and ban their emails. So if for some reason you keep sending emails where people are reporting you as a spam, okay, especially people who are having Gmail domain, then Gmail servers will flag you as a spam, meaning you will never be able to send out a single email to anybody within Gmail. Okay, so that is something you have to be very careful about. So deliverability is something that you have to always go and check. Be very careful about. There are certain rules that you need to follow to ensure that you adhere to it, which is why they are saying the CAN spam rules you need to follow. Ensure that you don't keep sending a lot of emails to people, especially people who have not opted in. Don't buy the people's names from here and there and then just start sending them bluntly emails like that. Okay, always adhere to the laws, and the opt-in preferences as well. Is there any number of limits we can send email in 24 hours? Didn't quite understand that one. So you mean the threshold one, right? So that we cannot control that one, Vineet. Automatically, Marketing Cloud controls how many emails can be sent out based on its speed. Okay, behind the scene. But what you can control is you can keep a threshold saying, okay, I want to send 5,000 emails in an hour, 10,000, today between this time to this time. You can put that in the email configuration you can put. But how many is the maximum number? It depends on the processing power behind the servers. People sometimes send 500,000 emails, 1 million emails and all, so it might take some time for it to get processed behind the scenes. Again, it depends on the how much of if the email is a simple email, it gets done very fast. If you are written a lot of personalization code inside the email, every email has to process that code before it gets sent out. So ideally we tell people not to write a lot of code into an email and then trying to send it out. Okay, so always look at that. So it depends on what type of email you have, how much of personalization you have, and how much time each email it takes time to render and get sent out. Okay. Salesforce inbox, I have not used that one, unfortunately. I've heard of it recently. That one is primarily to do with the bringing your Outlook into Salesforce, integrating your Outlook, and salespeople use that a lot to integrate their Outlook with Salesforce. Again, that is more for one person to that the sales team or one or their sales teams to actually interact with their contacts. Okay. That is not meant for marketing as such. Okay, it does not have features like how you saw doing some automations or doing sending out marketing content, building all that. Okay, so it is more to manage your Outlook integration with Salesforce. Okay, so if you want more advanced features in terms of doing proper marketing and tracking all that, doing segmentation, figuring all that, then you have to move to Marketing Cloud. Digital marketing analyst planning to switch career in Salesforce Marketing Cloud? Yes, definitely. I believe Marketing Cloud is very, very hot right now. A lot of openings I can see people are actually requesting. And if you already have a marketing background, it's something if you can actually ramp up, definitely it's good to pursue. I would say this is the right time to actually get into marketing. Okay, so it is okay. Faisal is asking if you have 1,000 records in data extension, we apply filter to query that particular new data extension 500 records. Do we need to pay for 1,000 records or 1,000? So there is a link. If you Google and see, like, how do I evaluate contacts? So you actually pay for the number of contacts that you have in the system, not by the if you duplicate the same contacts, it does not pay for that. Okay, so there is one count for the number of contacts that you have. So even if you duplicate it, that is not a problem. But there is also, like, behind the scenes, which they don't tell you, is the size, like, the storage size you probably have. I don't know how much GB, but there will be some storage size that each org will be given. That probably only your AE will know, or your support team. You can actually ask them, like, so it probably will be very high, but at some point in time, if you keep on duplicating, like, it's not just 1,000. Maybe you, every time you get 1 million contacts and you keep doing segmenting into 500,000 like that, you keep creating 10-20 data extensions, soon you will run into GBs, right? So that is something you probably should not do. Like, once you're done, like, if you want to reuse the data extension, great, you can reuse it. But the master data extension you can keep as such, so you can always create segments off of it and then delete whenever you don't need it, right? So that's something you can do. If you simply bring in data into even contact data, you bring it into a data extension, like by getting in it, that does not mean it becomes a contact. Okay, so you have to go and find out, like, there's an article, a blog that is written on, like, contacts, how to get the contact count. If you Google getting like contact count marketing cloud in Google, if you do it, you will get a blog post that says, how does Salesforce marketing cloud find out or identify the number of contacts that you have in your system, based on which it will actually tell you how much to pay for it, right? So they have contact count determination. That's what the post is called. So you can take a look at that. Okay, I have a message from Mahesh saying that please don't go. There is, I believe, Mahesh, you have Kahoot or something for the team, or no?
Yeah, we have an 3 certification vouchers.
Okay, okay.
We will pick a winners at last and we will provide that.
Got it. Okay, cool. Okay, any other questions, team? Well, I hope this was useful for, especially for those who are actually new, like into marketing cloud. Maybe you got a small idea of, like, how to look at it. Do reach out to, like, your local networks, your community groups. Many of you are from different locations, so there will be definitely marketing cloud user groups in your area, so you can reach out to them as well. Get in touch with people who are already working in marketing cloud projects. Tell them your interest. You can start learning. Maybe their own companies, they might be looking for people as interns and all that. So create that personal rapport, like, with people who are already working in the ecosystem, like, that way you can actually go and see if there is opportunities that you can actually apply for. They themselves will tell you, like, okay, how did they get into the ecosystem? How did they get the job? What are the things that they did, etc. What to learn from? What do they look for when new people come in, etc. So that's something that you can actually check as well. Real-time projects which you're using marketing cloud, there are lots, Amit, like, so like I said, every company usually has some form of marketing. So nowadays, like, I've seen companies implementing not just journeys and keeping on adding in, like, marketing promotions and all that campaigns. The new ones that I've seen is, like, using Interaction Studio. So Interaction Studio is one of the tools that they recently bought, where you can actually send near real-time communications out to your consumers. Okay, so the one that I mentioned, one of the use cases I mentioned earlier, right? Let's say I browsed a site, and then suddenly, like, within half an hour, I'm getting a communication or email saying that, okay, you checked for this particular on our website. We are giving you a promotion, right? So that can be done using Interaction Studio. So it's a very, very powerful tool where it can monitor if you are actually, like, engaging with our marketing through multiple channels, and then sending you real time, like, promotions based on how you actually interacted with us, like, so that's the new personalization engine that marketing many teams are starting to use now. Very, very interesting one, by the way. Not easy, by the way. Interaction, you have to learn that. There is a bunch of JavaScript in, like, site scripting and all that you have to do, like, if you want to get into Interaction Studio development. But, like, there are a few people who are learning that. Hopefully, like, in future, some of you might get to work with that as well. Okay, any other questions before we wrap up today? Not, I'll pass it to Mahesh.
Okay, that's then.
Sure.
Let's pick the winners. Shibu, can you transfer the post?
Sure.